in the top left side. The first time we've seen it tonight, Berlingrad. Give it up for Classic. And his opponent down here in the bottom right. Give it up for Byun. Now, like we said, this is the qualifying match. Everything left to play for because there are so many rounds you have to go through just to get back to this point where you can say that you are qualifying. Looks like right now Classic is just going to go for an interesting scout pattern here. Just trying to keep an eye out, make sure that there's nothing too crazy coming his way. He just wants to make sure that, you know, there's no proxy. It is Byun after all. The guy really likes to proxy when he's up against the ropes or up against a really good player. Just get that cheeky win in the beginning. Right now, nothing else is going on, really. We do have that first little probe just being a nuisance, and this is the best probe that you could do as a Protoss player, because as long as that's out on the map, your opponent always has to worry about whether you are proxying him or not. Sorry about that. Yeah, right now, Byun, he's getting his reactor first, which does tell me that we're probably going to see a 3 racks. And yeah, the second racks does go down, so that's full confirmation that a third one will soon follow it. So Byun gonna look to be aggressive very early on. First step is going to make its way across the map, but now we have a bit of a timer here for Byun. Already, we have a relatively good start for this build because he is going up against a Stargate play, which does mean, by the way, that this is going to do a lot more damage, because if your opponent goes for Phoenix, then you're not really going to have a lot of DPS to deal with so many Marines. Even if you're going for Oracles, you need at least 2 to 3. But with Stim, that's not even going to be super enough. So thank you, some Drunk Canadian, for the raid. Hope your stream went well, man. That first little stalker going to be making its way in, and this is a vital stalker. He needs to start whittling down the health of these Marines so the Oracle can finish him off, because Stim is only halfway complete. If you can get rid of the Marines, then you're going to be safe back at home. So already Classic doing a pretty good job of delaying any sort of strike that's going to be coming his way. Marauder is out, so that's going to be a little bit better to poke in here, but the second Oracle does come in to see if there's enough Marines here. There's not really that many left after that first strike, and it looks like Classic really doesn't want to let Byun recover from anything right now, as he is just putting on the pressure. He's got his own third base up at home, and he is transitioning straight into an old-timey favorite, Roba facility into Twilight Council. First Stim does come down and will catch a couple of these stalkers, but that's actually a problem. Because of that Stim, there's no healing with this. The factory only just now is finished. So with every stim, this attack gets less and less powerful. Yeah, and with how far away he stimmed, that's even more deadly. Although some good focus fire, he does get rid of the sentry. But yeah, this attack is almost over. So it doesn't look like Byun knows it, as he's just going to keep the pressure on. Gets a quick snipe on the Oracle. That is a very nice pick off. Even just going to ignore the Zealot, go straight for the Stalkers. So he's just trying to get as much as he can out of this push before it goes down. Yeah, I'm not really worth it in terms of units lost, but luckily he did manage to kill off enough so that he's not worrying about a counterattack. Now as we see Classic going to be powering up behind it, he still does have that one base advantage with Byun only just now starting his own third. The upgrades will start to kick in though, as +1 attack just now finishes with concussive shells as well, so that's going to add a little bit more that Classic has to deal with. Revelation goes down, revealing the fact that this drop is in play, and so he's going to be in position for it, but this is not really the scariest army I've ever seen from a Protoss. Especially not when we're talking about a guy who can literally make a Marauder last for hours, versus like an army of Stalkers. This is Micro Jackson we're talking about. Breaking down the rocks, just giving him a little bit of an extra avenue to attack before deciding to not push his luck too far, reinforce his army. And you know what? I kind of like that because at this point, Classic does have that army supply advantage, 51 to 48. Doesn't really have a lot of tech, though, available to him, as he's still only on Immortal production for now. There we go. Charge is on the way. I was wondering if he got Blink. He did. I just heard it. Now we come to the point. Byun is at his pretty much peak 3-base production as he starts to take his own third. Oracle trying to come in here, wants to get a Revelation off, just keep tabs on this army. A Widowmine does get burrowed, but it will get picked off, as does the Immortal in the front, a little bit too far forward. The force fields not really getting the best connections here, as Byun is able to micro around them. So now Classic, he has to hold on, but there's multiple points that Byun can enter through, so he's gonna have to divvy up his forces perfectly. Looks like he's done so far. Byun taking advantage of the map, just making sure that not all those Stalkers could fight. Gets one Stalker for his trouble. Looks like there are some reinforcements back at home, so this shouldn't get too much, but that is a lot of Zealots being warped in. Oh, that War Prism is so close to death. But Classic is setting up for the later stages of the game now. He's getting absolutely everything. Robo Bay, an extra Robo facility so he can go into either Disruptors or Colossus. Looks like it's going to be Colossus, and he will also have Storm. Byun does get it canceled, but he's got to be careful not to get trapped down here in the bottom side. So that Bay is pretty exposed, I gotta say. There are stats everywhere. Yeah, like here's the stats. 98% of statistics are made up. Now Byun keeping up the aggression. He is just trading out really well here, as most of Classic's army wasn't engaging in here. The Widowmines just doing what they can to get rid of as many of those Zealots as possible. More Prism does go down. Viking production has begun already because of the fact that Robo Bay was right there. Also beautiful mine shots. Because the Bay was so exposed there at the third base, he now knows, hey, it's Colossus, so I just need a couple of Vikings to kill you. Still no ghosts, though. That's one thing that he is lacking, which I can understand because he doesn't really have a ton of gas to his name. Widowmines, though, are getting massive connections, so there's not... Like, once you get rid of a lot of this army, you know, I think Byun can actually kind of just rotate around. Taking a look at it, he's up 20 army supply right now. We'll even get another snipe on the fourth base as he takes his own. Trying to focus fire down the War Prism. He will manage to get it at the cost of a couple of his Vikings. The Archons do get trapped away from the main army, but he will be able to force the retreat for now. But he is still between a rock and a Byun place, as he's going to be looking to go for a big push to try and just kind of claw his way back. He needs to get a good trade here, but he can't afford to lose this army. That's a beautiful concave at the top of the ramp. EMP blanketing these forces. Byun is getting pushed further and further back, though, as the Colossus wailing away on the SCVs, which were pulled to mitigate some of that damage. Stims forward, and Classic's army disappears. A couple of additional Zealots, though, warping in to reinforce it. I think the problem is it's just now Zealots and Stalkers. He has nothing in the backfield. Losing 26 workers, that may seem like a big deal, but at this point, Byun should start to pump out those orbital commands and just rely heavily on what do you call them? Orbitals, mules. Because look at this, he is up double the army supply right now. Looks like a stasis trap did go down, but that will get found out. Classic in a lot of trouble, relying on the disruptor balls to do his bidding. We saw Byun do really well versus them earlier in the Pigsty tournament. This time, though, he's not able to dive on top of them. Those Archons, though, they are juicy, ready to die as their shields are deleted. A very risky move. It did not pay off for Byun. But now he lifts up. He gets right on top of these disruptors. He is neutering Classic as the army just parade pushing across the map. That's going to be it for game number 1. But let's see what we're looking at here. Looks like we're going to be seeing a fast transition here, as we do have double refinery coming on down, which does tell me that we're going to be seeing a more tech-focused build from Byun. Classic as well is going to go for the safer build here. Getting that cybernetics core first does allow you to get that first adept out, but just make sure that if there is some sort of proxy, you're going to be feeling fine. So there we go. That adept. From what it's looking like, I think it's going to be Stargate play again. And I think if it is, then Byun's probably going to be going for a Hellion drop. That's just kind of the vibes I'm getting. And yep, there you go, Stargate coming on down. This game is underway. So what Classic would probably want to do on this map, and one thing I've seen him do a lot on this map, is instead of oracles, just go straight into what do you call them? Sorry, I'm forgetting English. Straight into Phoenix rather than oracles, because it allows you to just be safe versus these kind of drop plays that he sees Byun going for. Maybe he understands Koreans for you. Suga hasamida, Junbi wayo. That's all I got. Like all the voice lines from StarCraft 2. But no, I don't understand Korean. Phoenix does manage to find it, but he's still going to be able to get in. The Adepts are in position, so let's see how many he can get. It takes 3 shots to kill a probe. We have a little bit of a lag spike here. Uh-oh. Alright, so here we go. Classic has just cleaned up that Hellion drop without taking too much damage. He lost about 3 workers during it, and now he's going to look to put a little bit of pressure on his own. Cyclone is in position, though, so he will be able to get quite a bit of damage done on one of them. Back into it. Byun, he's kind of going with the bog standard. Go up to as many racks as I can before getting that 3rd base, and just going to be looking to punch through. And the thing about it, the reason that's so good right now is because of the fact that his opponent is still pumping out Phoenix this late into the game. We only just now have that Twilight Council finishing. So these Phoenix, they're great. They're awesome. They do a lot of damage. They can harass really well. Once you got Stim, once you got a good count of Marines, you don't care how many Phoenix they have. You can just focus fire them down one by one, especially when you have Byun's fast finger. It'd be a stream if there were no technical issues. You know, it reminds me of a funny time. Hold that thought. Phoenix, a little bit worse for wear, as they do take a little bit of damage from those Marines. Byun just looking for any opportunity he can. Yeah, it was really funny. You know, I was casting DreamHack with Snoopy, I think it was, and the admin started to lag out, and it was a ZVZ, Rainer versus Denver, and as he lagged out, all of Denver's units, or banelings, or lings, were stuck on the ramp as the Phoenix fly in here. One gets taken down. So, as he goes up the ramp, a baneling comes up behind it. It lags out, and then he runs like 30 lings into the bane. So that was a really funny moment. Denver was obviously ticked. But nothing you can do about it sometimes with these live events. Chip battery overcharge is going to be popped. Charge is complete, so Byun has to be a little bit careful about where he engages in. The Widow Mines, though, are a really good addition. That was a beautiful play, though. Just using the hallucination to get rid of those mines. Phoenix, though, going to try and jump right on top of this. Byun funneling a lot of these Zealots into the choke points to try and take down as many as possible, but Classic is just having none of it. The Phoenix crowding the medevacs in the sky. They will all go down. The Widow Mines doing what they can, but with this full wraparound, Byun has dropped 100 supply. GG is called. Let's give these guys our energy. Spawning in the bottom left side. Give it up for Alpha X's own Classic. And his opponent up here in the top side. He wants to take home the gold. Give it up for the Shopify Rebellions. Byun. That's a nice little Reaper wall that Classic has started. I've seen it a couple of times already where a player forgot that that was even there and just takes a lot of damage to, say, a 2-Rax Reaper very early on. Wanted to watch a replay of Final Battle, but clips are disabled. They should not be disabled. Huh, interesting. This time Byun switching it up once again. This is something we actually don't see him do very often. He's getting a Reaper versus Protoss, just so that he can get a little bit of extra information. He knows that Classic, when he's up against the ropes or when he's on match point, can get a little bit cranky. Just like our next raid. Thank you, Cranky Ducklings, for the party. As we do have this game kind of getting underway. Once again, it's a depth, so that tells me, yeah, this kind of confirms it. It is Stargate once again from Classic. So just looking for the 3-peat. And Byun, he's going for 3 CC. Oh my goodness. See, now I gotta be really worried for him here, because if this is a Void Rays, then he's not gonna have enough in time, especially since he's gonna follow this up with a 3-Rax. 3 CC, 3-Rax. Oh, hey, it's actually a robo facility. Classic. Going crazy with the Immortals. Oh, thanks, Player Style. So from here, Classic just needs to keep putting on the aggression. He cannot afford to let Byun take an efficient trade. The bunker is going to complete, or it's going to at least try to complete. But what Classic is looking for is to get 2 Immortals and then go straight into the Warp Prism so that he can just dive around all the different defenses. The Reaper as well, trying to get confirmation, but unfortunately it's not really having a good time of it. Yeah, Classic is pretty much going to be all in with this, I feel. He is still pumping out probes, though, so maybe if he does enough damage, he can go straight. In fact, he is going to go straight to a 3rd base, it looks like. Unless that's just a scouting probe. It's not even his unit, that's a Reaper. Reaper's still alive, though. Unfortunately, no time did he actually scout what he needed to, as he is about to get hit pretty hard here. Stim is about to complete, so that is very good. But every time he stims, he still doesn't have any medevac support. So every time he stims, his army gets weaker and weaker. And here we go. The SCVs instantly pulled. Force fields gonna blanket the bunker, so that is gonna go down very, very quickly. Gets one of the sentries, but the pickups are pretty good for Classic. And the Byun, he's fighting his heart out. The SCVs have been pulled. 15 of them have gone down so far. He was just trying to buy himself some time to get another bunker up, but Stim is now complete. Will that save him? The answer is I don't think so. This is really good micro here from Classic so far. 31 SCVs are down. He is down to only 18, and as this bunker falls, actually hold that thought as Classic makes a little bit of a mistake and loses a couple of those Immortals. I hate to say Byun is still pretty dead, but let's just say when he visits Paris, he goes to the catacombs, and they say, "Oh, we got one that escaped." Anyway, he's gonna fight his heart out here. SCV's pulled once again. He's gonna chase this all the way back. The Immortals getting a little bit low on health before getting picked up here, but another big warp in, and that is going to be it. Classic qualifies for the main event.